Hey guys, Chris Williams here, and if you notice, yet again, I changed the channel name, and I know I've done that a couple times this year, but really was really thinking deep about where I want this channel to go, what I want to do, and I think having the channel name be Wholesaling Houses for Beginners, I think was a good idea, but I realized that even in that, I'm still fix and flipping. I'm still wholesaling, I'm still working as an agent, and so I still want to be able to make videos on how we're buying houses, how we're flipping houses, how we're raising capital, right? So I realized by just having the channel name Wholesaling Houses for Beginners, there's really pigeonholing myself into probably limiting the type of content that I can make, when really I want to be able to showcase really everything that I'm doing here. So check out the new channel name, Chris Williams REI. So even with that, still join the Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses for Beginners. We'll definitely be posting more in there. If you're looking to grow your wholesale business, looking to learn, whether you wholesale or flip, or you're an agent, would love to connect with you there. So on to my story. I've been really wanted to make a video on this. So I've actually been in real estate for about 10 years now. Of course, it's May 2020, so I got started in about the beginning of 2010. So my journey as a wholesaler, as a flipper, lots and lots of up and down. So in late 2009, I was definitely getting the entrepreneur bug. I was cleaning pools, as the title of this video shows. It was cleaning pools for a local company here. Really loved my job. I didn't make that much money, but I got to spend a lot of time outside, outdoors. It was a very physical job, and I really liked it. But like I said, I was getting that entrepreneur itch, where I wanted to go out and do something on my own. I wanted to carve my own path. I wanted financial freedom and time freedom, even though I really didn't know what that looked like. But I knew something that had been a constant within my heart and within my mind for probably my whole life was real estate. I remember being about 5 or 6 years old and taking my first trip to San Francisco with my family. And I remember driving downtown and seeing these skyscrapers and these high rises. And even as a young kid, I was blown away. And I just remember looking at those and saying, like, man, I don't know what those are, but I know I want to build those. One day I want to build those here in my hometown of Fresno. And so I spent most of my childhood just loving building model skyscrapers, building Lego cities. Was definitely addicted to games like Sim City, where I could go in and build my own city. But even though that continued on through junior high and high school, I never really did anything with it. And so after high school, getting a job cleaning pools, it was, like I said, it was a good job, but I wasn't really going anywhere with it. Didn't go to college. Didn't really know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just remember having that thought of real estate and saying, okay, I'm going to look into real estate. Of course, perfect timing, 2009. So I went home and just Googled how to make money in real estate. I learned about fix and flipping, and I thought that was the first path that I was going to go, fix and flipping and rentals. But then one day I ran across Tyrone the Flip Man. He had made a video about wholesaling houses, and it just completely blew my mind, that I could lock in a property for whatever price and turn around and sell it to somebody else without raising capital, without swinging a hammer. It was a completely different concept. And so I started learning. I bought a couple books, just started calling people, calling investors, posting on Craigslist, calling agents, really trying to get an idea of the market and how to go about getting started. And so in December 2009, I ran across somebody else who was in the same position, basically just starting as well. We really hit it off. So we decided, hey, rather than competing against each other, let's just join up and we'll start this journey together. So we started working together in January of 2010, quickly locked up a few deals, really good deals. And so in March of 2010, I went full time, quit my job. I, of course, honored my employer and gave them the 2-week notice. And so went full time in 2010, wholesaling, a couple flips here and there, 2010, 2011. At the end of 2011, I just really felt this call and this desire to go out on my own. And it was nothing against my business partner, phenomenal guy. I just felt like that's just where the Lord was leading me. And for me, I'm a devout Christian. I believe the entrepreneur desire is a God-given gift. And I just felt that there was a pull away from that and to go out on my own. And so did that starting 2012. Craziest thing happened. I know it happened for a reason, but I just completely failed. So how our business partnership was structured was really, I did a lot of the marketing, a lot of the deal analyzation, and then my business partner will go on appointments and get the deals locked up. He was the mouthpiece, so to speak, and I was more of the data guy. So I had never negotiated anything before, so I was terrified. I would post ads on Craigslist or some bandit signs or do some direct mail, and when my phone would ring with a number I didn't know, I would freak out. I would really get so fearful that I'd be shaking. There'd be some times where I would pick up my phone and I'd throw it across the room because I was so afraid to speak with somebody on the other line. I made some effort, but didn't really go anywhere. In 2012, I didn't close any deals. All my bills went into default. My car was almost impounded. My phone got turned off maybe 3 or 4 times that entire year. Quickly ran out of money. Was really starting to fall into a depression and started picking up some odd and end jobs, like handyman jobs, going back kind of working on some people's pools and stuff just to make sort of ends meet, to pay my phone, my car payment, and gas, insurance. That was it, and I really didn't have anything left over. I had to kind of live off credit cards for a while. Those went into default, and so it was really put into a really, really bad place. And at the end of 2012, I had one of my mentors, who's a real estate broker and investor, council member of our church. He approached me and he's like, hey, are you interested in a job? Our sister company is looking for someone to bring into the office. And at this time, I had kind of put out a couple applications to like CVS and Walgreens and that kind of stuff and didn't really go anywhere. And so I was like, hey, why not give it a shot? So a couple of interviews in, got a job working for a local flipper here. He did a lot of redevelopment, development, property management. I think they were buying somewhere between 80 to 100 properties a year. So went in as a full-time office assistant, making like $10 an hour, which was basically covered all my bills, covered my ends meet. So I did that for a while, but I still had the desire to own a business and wholesale. And in that time, even though I was making some action, sending some letters, making some calls, I really did give up. My dream of being an entrepreneur really died inside, and I was definitely depressed. But I took enough little action to really convince myself that I hadn't given up. I didn't want to give up hope. I didn't want to give up hope on my dreams and my desires. Summer of 2013, my girlfriend and I ended up getting engaged. Phenomenal moment in my life. But at the same time, I had these new bills in front of me. She was pressuring me that she needed money to pay for some of the wedding stuff and, secure a venue and DJs and whatever else we needed. And at the same time, I had a car that was in and out of the shop. It was an Audi A6, and loved the car, 300 horsepower. It was a fun car, but it's in and out of the shop literally every month. Like, I could not get it to pass smog. Every time I put it in the shop, it would be a minimum of $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, only to reveal another underlying problem. So I just had these mounting bills. One day, actually during work, I think I took my work break as a project manager that I had worked my way up to. I remember just thinking about all the bills, thinking about all the problems I was facing, thinking about how I had failed at my dream of being a real estate entrepreneur. And I was so mad, and I was grumbling, and I was complaining to God that, God, you put all these desires in my heart, and I've tried, but I just keep failing, and I always feel like I'm taking 10 steps back. I remember really wanting this energy drink. It was a specific Rockstar that I remember going to one grocery store that normally had it, and they didn't have it. And I went to another gas station that I knew they normally have it, and they didn't have it either. And then I went to one more place, one more grocery store, and they had it. And I just remember as I went to store, as they didn't have the drink that I wanted, and I was getting so mad. I would get even more angry than what I was before, even more disappointed. But I remember walking into that grocery store and finding it and going and paying for it, even though I really didn't have the money for it, and going out to my car and sitting and just cracking it open and taking that slow drink. And I just remember making this sigh of relief, like, yes, I finally get to have what I want. It was just in that moment, it just kind of clicked. I just realized, like, man, I have all these life dreams, these life goals, and when I've hit road bumps in it, I've really given up. I've pulled back. I haven't taken the action I wanted, or I've grumbled when it hasn't gone my way. But here, I just really stopped at nothing to go find a $3 drink that could very well kill me, right? It's not going to add to my life. Yeah, it might boost my energy real quick, and then maybe in an hour I'm going to feel tired again. But here I just stopped at nothing to get that. But at every road bump for the dreams in my life, I've given up. And I was like, dang, this is so stupid. What am I doing here? We're like, why am I complaining when really I have no excuse to not be successful? I have a car, I have internet, I have time. What am I doing not closing deals? So really, I told God, okay, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it 30 days. I'm going to go all out in 30 days. And I'm going to set a goal for myself of $10,000. If I don't bring $10,000 in within the next 30 days, outside of my job, then I'm going to just recognize that maybe a real estate entrepreneur isn't for me. I'm going to hang my hat up and I'm going to go find something else, right? I'm going to stop making excuses, stop taking little actions. I'm just going to hang my hat up and go figure out something else. What I did was for 30 days, I went gung-ho. I made every call I could, sent out letters, sent out follow-up calls, all while having a full-time job from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I would get up at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, go hit the gym. I'd be in my office at about 7:15, 7:30. I'd plan out my day, plan out who I needed to call back, and then I'd clock in at 8. When it was time for me to take my 15-minute break, I would make a call to a potential seller, try to set appointments. When I was out in my car, working as a project manager, there was a lot of driving around between properties. So I would be calling people, trying to negotiate deals, set appointments. On my lunch break, I'd clock out. I would hit the phones, or I'd go look at a property and try to negotiate a deal. And within 30 days, I locked in $15,000 in assignment fees, just going all out. And even there were many times I would clock out of work at 5 o'clock and I would stay in the office until 8 or 9 p.m. Or I'd go out and I would hit up bandit signs until 12, 1 o'clock, 2 a.m. in the morning, something like that. And then wake up again at 4:30 or 5 to go do it all over again. And so within those 30 days, I actually surpassed that $10,000 goal and hit $15,000. And it really solidified in me that truth that I am very capable of this, right? And for me, I was not a good negotiator. I was very introverted. I did not have really any experience in sales or negotiations, but it was just putting my foot forward, taking action, following through, and making offers, right? Like if I wasn't actively making offers every day, then there was really a very low likelihood of me getting a deal. So did that, closed a few more deals in 2013. And then in December 2013, knowing that my wedding was coming up in about 5 or 6 months, just realizing like, okay, I need to do this full time. So I wrote out a plan of how I was going to do this, how much marketing I needed to send out, how many calls I needed to make, how many deals I needed to get. Going into 2014, I just hit the ground running, doing the same thing, working outside of my job. I wanted to honor my boss and not use his time for my time, but during my breaks, lunch breaks, after work, I just hit it as hard as possible. And so having a full-time job, I started doing 2, 3, 4 deals a month, mostly as a wholesaler, some as an agent as well. And so in March of 2014, I went full-time, and in 2014, I closed 33 deals, all on my own. And again, it just solidified to me that I had what it takes. I didn't have to be this super energetic, always outgoing, always this, always that. Like I could be myself, my calm, introverted self, and I could put deals together, most of them over the phone and a lot in appointment as well. So did that full time, all on my own. 2014, 2015, same thing, 16, 17. We've had lots and lots of ups and downs. I've made a lot of money, have lost a lot of money. In 2018, I joined a mastermind and got the scaling bug. Scaling when you start hiring people, start doing more marketing as well. So went from a very small operation, just myself and a part-time assistant, to then having 3 full-time employees, spending $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month, trying to get to 10 deals a month, was trying to get at least $100,000 in revenue. I got very close and just hit a string of deals being delayed, deals being canceled. In that push for volume, I really started to compromise on my own ideals of what a deal is. So before, where I was very small time, only sending maybe a couple thousand letters a month, I was able to pick and choose the best deals for myself, right? So I was wholesaling, making $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 a deal, doing maybe 2 deals a month, 1 or 2 deals a month. I was very comfortable. But when I started scaling, I really no longer had that option of picking and choosing the best deals. Just whatever deal came my way, I had to get it. So my $15,000, $20,000 wholesale deals went down to like $1,000, $2,000. I had some development deals that went south, and really over the course of about a month and a half, 2 months, I saw like 300 grand, probably almost 400 grand just disappear. A lot of money that we had put out without revenue coming in, and even just a lot of deals that I had lined up that just started fizzling out, buyers backing out, lenders backing out. Crazy enough, ended up basically pulling the plug on that idea of running a big business. I bought into that idea of bigger is better, right? If you're not pushing for 10, 20, 30 deals a month, if you're not pushing for $100,000, $200,000 a month in revenue, then you're not a real entrepreneur. And so I bought into that idea, really what I would say even a lie, and I tried to model my business off of everybody else. But because I was pursuing other people's dreams, when we hit a little rough path, I took a step back and I was like, man, I don't like where this is going. I don't like this type of business. I like this simple, small, nimble. I can choose what I want. I can choose the deals. I can buy a deal if I want and it's not going to hurt me, or I can wholesale it. And I had gotten out of that. Going into 2019, I really cut everything, cut the staff, cut the huge marketing budget, $50,000, $60,000 a month back to like a couple grand a month. Got back to a point where we're really comfortable. If I needed to take time away to be with my wife or kids or to travel, we could do that. I now have 4 kids, 3 years and under. I have twins, a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. And even at this point, doing some deals every month, I still only work maybe 15, 20 hours a week. And I would say, of course, my business is not where I want it to be, but at the same time, it has provided a lifestyle where really I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. I don't have, multiple people on payroll that I have to worry about to make sure that they get paid. Even before this whole COVID shutdown, really cut down on a lot of expenses, a lot of unnecessary expenses, a lot of $200, $300, $500 a month expenses, and really went from several $1,000s a month overhead to our subscriptions are maybe $500, $600 a month. And we're able to pull deals out of that. That's not including the cost of an office. This is probably the most expensive expense that I have, even more than my own home. So that's really where I am in 2020. There's another video recently made about the 5 adjustments that we've been making during COVID. So I don't portray myself as someone who does 100, 200 deals a year, but in my journey, I probably have closed around maybe 350, 400 deals, from wholesales to fix and flips, hotels. My first development deal as well, a ground up new construction project, looking to expand on that. So really my whole goal with this channel is I just want to be able to provide as much value as possible. I really enjoy this. I'm not the most energetic or outgoing person, but I do really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy giving tips and tricks and tips on how to improve your business, tips on how to find motivated sellers or how to find cash buyers. So my whole goal with this channel really is to provide as much value as possible to you. And I do have some plans for maybe even a podcast or just doing some interviews here. But hey, if you could go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Would love to push out some more content. Hey, if you guys have any questions about wholesaling, flipping, raising private money, drop a comment. If I don't answer it there, I could maybe even just make a video based on your question, and would really love to do some more interaction with you guys. So again, my name is Chris Williams, REI. If you have any questions about putting deals together, just drop it and I'll try to answer it to my best ability. Thank you for watching.